Meanwhile, fully vaccinated passengers arriving into the United Kingdom will no longer have to take any COVID tests either before departure or on arrival. The change, which kicked in at 4 o'clock this morning, means travellers who have not received at least 2 vaccine doses will still need to provide proof of a negative COVID result and book a post-arrival PCR test. It comes as hundreds of thousands of people prepare to travel abroad for the half-term break. Well, let's talk a bit about that change now with Lo Bue-Said, who is Chief Executive of Advantage Travel Partnership, who we have talked to many times during the pandemic. And this is a much brighter day. There have been a lot of dark days for the travel industry and the travelling public, of course, but this is good news.
Absolutely, Ben. This is the first time in many, many months that travellers returning back to the UK can really start to look positively forward to returning without having to purchase expensive testing just to return home. So a very positive start indeed.
And in perfect timing, really, with half-term holidays.
Absolutely. Half term next week for most of the country. You know, a lot of passengers and families had bookings already. They will now not have to purchase those testing. So it all makes a big difference. I mean, it's still very complicated, still very complex, but certainly returning back into the UK, and of course, travellers coming into the UK to visit England and our beautiful country, a huge opportunity for them as well.
What about people travelling abroad? There's still, a whole patchwork quilt of rules and restrictions in different countries. It's still very complicated.
It's exceptionally complicated. Unfortunately, what you can't do nowadays is think about a trip in one transaction. You have to think about it in 2 areas. One, what are the rules coming back into your home country, but also what are those rules where you're going? And as you say, it's a patchwork quilt. It's a rule. Many different rules. All, unfortunately, they are all based on your vaccine status, child ages, when you've had your vaccination, but also you also have to check not only what are the rules to enter a country, but what are those restrictions placed upon travellers when they're actually there.
There's been a lot of talk about Spain, for example. I mean, you've got to be double vaxxed from the age of 12. So a lot of kids who haven't been double vaxxed, families can't go with them.
Yeah, Spain has been a real issue for for a lot of our members who have had many bookings and thousands of clients who unfortunately have had to cancel and rebook to different destinations. And as you say there, Ben, you have to be, if you're over 12, you have to be fully vaccinated, which for a lot of children, haven't been able to have their second dose. They don't accept the UK's proof of COVID recovery. They would if you were in the EU. They don't if you're from the UK. So it's called untold amounts of issues. But we have seen travellers, being determined to go away and just really looking at different destinations.
But and having said all of that and those difficulties that you've outlined, looking ahead, to the summer, are people making bookings now in large numbers? In other words, is confidence coming back, flowing back to the travel industry?
Confidence has improved. It's not where it really needs to be. As I say, as we've talked about, there's still lots of complications. Also, if you haven't had your vaccines, if you are unvaccinated, it's still complex to come back into the UK. You still need to test. So what we are seeing is there's definitely confidence to book, certainly over the next 7 to 8 weeks. 35% of everything that's booked through an Advantage member right now is for travel between that period. We're starting to see the summer pick up, but really expect now after today and ongoing as more countries start to ease their restrictions, we'll see much more confidence and more consumers thinking about booking.
Very good to talk to you. Thank you so much, as ever, Lo Bue-Said, who is Chief Executive of Advantage Travel Partnership. Thank you.